Right now at noon, warming centers are opening their doors. What community members can do to help support these centers.
And bitterly cold temperatures continuing, but at least the sun is shining out there. It's going to stay cold for a while, and there might be snow on the horizon. Details in the forecast coming up.
Plus, Galena City Council members address a stench.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Police in Aurora, Missouri averted what could have been a deadly situation. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Authorities say a man entered the lobby of the Aurora Police and Fire Facility Sunday night armed with a handgun, then placed the gun to his head, threatening to shoot himself. They say he also pointed the weapon at officers who were behind bullet-restrained glass and repeatedly asked to be shot. When officers refused, the man stormed out of the lobby, then returned without a gun. Police subdued him with a taser. No word yet on formal charges. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we are starting with a look outside from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. So it is sunny. We've got a beautiful looking day. It's just, again, it does not feel so beautiful out there with those temperatures. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin also looking pretty good. Skies are clear, but it is still quite cold. Yesterday, we started at 11 and only made it up to 20. Nowhere near where we're supposed to be. In fact, our high was 5 degrees shy of what our average low should be for this time of year. That's the cold weather we're talking about. 22 in Joplin right now, 20 in Pittsburgh, but obviously we've got pretty good road conditions out there, as again opposed to about 24 hours ago. 17 in Iola. We've got some teens in our northern counties. The rest of us at least holding into the low to mid 20s, and it with even a light wind. When it's cold enough, that's still enough to give you a bit of a wind chill. So it does feel a little bit colder in some locations out there, but thankfully we're not dealing with those same gusty winds we saw a couple of days ago. Clear skies continue through the evening, as do the bitterly cold temperatures, dropping that back down to about 17 by 11. Our lows tonight dropping to about 10. It's going to be cold again tomorrow, and yeah, I did say snow earlier. We're going to talk about all of that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Sky Watch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. KOAM Sky Watch weather app. Well, with temperatures across the 4 states dropping to their lowest so far this winter, emergency warming centers and shelters are opening their doors. KOAM Samantha Walker spoke with 2 warming centers about how you may be able to help as they work to keep the community safe.
The van's out right now picking people up.
The Joplin First Church of Nazarene typically opens its shelter every Tuesday and Thursday, providing things like showers and a change of clothes. But when area overnight shelters open up, the church becomes a warming center from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., so people will have a place away from the below freezing temperatures.
We're driven to go out and bring people in. My husband right now, he's out on the trails bringing people in because they need to come in and get warm. And so I just want to make sure that everybody would be safe this winter.
In Miami, the Oklahoma Emergency Response Team has turned the First Christian Church into a 24/7 warming center. The organizer says the need for the resource is evident within their street citizen population.
Under our bridges, in our parks, even storage sheds. We have a lot of people that are living there. And the temperatures right now are just at a point at night, especially where it's just not safe to be out without any type of protection. One person that came in was in shorts and a t-shirt with the temperatures at the way they were.
While some warming centers like public libraries are open to the public during their regular business hours, these 2 sites offer more resources, such as showers, clothing, and hot meals. But those extra services mean they need extra support.
Food. We need food desperately, and gas for the van, of course, because we're running constantly.
Towels are always a big demand. Socks, even jackets and coats, things like that are always in high demand.
Another way to help at both sites is by being a volunteer, something they can both use. For those running these warming centers, they say the cold winter months are an important time for the community to come out and support one another.
Until you've been out there and been freezing and cold and without food, you don't realize the need.
Reporting, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
We have a list of warming centers in the 4 states that are open or plan to open on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, we encourage people to call these locations and check on hours. You can also contact them to find out which ones are pet friendly. You'll also find information on donating or volunteering for each. If your organization has a warming center and would like to be added to the list, just email our digital content manager, Stacy Strader. Well, sub-freezing temperatures can pose the threats of frostbite and hypothermia. Now, experts say anything less than 95 degrees body temperature is considered hypothermia. Now, frostbite, on the other hand, can occur when parts of the body are injured due to exposure to freezing temperatures. One doctor says if you go outside in these conditions, you should wear plenty of layers for protection.
Wear multiple layers of clothing. If a layer of clothing gets wet, that needs to come off. When you get wet, you're 25 more times faster to lose body heat.
Now, keep in mind, warming up should be gradual, and you want to use warm water, not hot water, which could cause your body to go into shock. Now, the best way is to stay warm inside and dressed warm for outside. Remember, if you need help, call 911. The Joplin Police Department announces the upcoming session of its Citizens Police Academy. The Academy is a 14-week program hosted by the Joplin Police Department. The class will cover a range of topics, including crime scene investigation, SWAT operations and equipment, use of force, and canine introduction. Now, these free classes begin February 6th and run until the 8th of May. We've provided a convenient link to the application on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Galena, Kansas City Council is trying to sniff out the source of an odor issue. In a meeting last night, the council agreed to ask the Kansas Department of Health and Environment to further investigate the cause of a sulfur smell that's prompted a number of citizen complaints. Now, the odor seems to be worse in an area north of 4th Street, not far from a landfill. Residents complained the smell seems to be strongest in the evening.
It's been off and on. It was just a little bit like in the past summer and stuff like that, and nothing really to worry about. But now it's just nonstop, and it's just whenever. Because I'm on the south side of the landfill, and the wind blows from the north, we smell it.
The KDHE has previously determined the smell was not likely coming from the landfill, but the council is seeking a further investigation. The Kansas Department of Transportation is providing an update on the US 69 Highway Alignment Project. The project is a highway corridor study to evaluate the current and future needs of US 69 in Crawford County. Now, KDOT says they are moving forward with the project and they will be holding more meetings late next month. You can find more information on the project on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, former President Jimmy Carter arrives in Washington today for a series of ceremonies before Thursday's state funeral. And later, we're making cheesy baked chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, former President Jimmy Carter makes his last journey to Washington today. His body will be brought to the Capitol Rotunda, where he will lie in state until Thursday's funeral. CBS's Natalie Brand has more.
Church hymns played as former President Jimmy Carter's casket was carried out of the Carter Center in Atlanta for the last time. Carter's children and their spouses accompanied the late former president in a solemn ceremony ahead of the journey to Washington, D.C. for the next phase of his state funeral. A military honor guard stood watch while the last mourners passed through the Carter Center to pay their respects. A steady stream of some 23,000 people came to say goodbye to a man they greatly admired.
It was just very hard because Jimmy was such a good person, a good-hearted person. It's just hard.
One mourner made her own tribute to the former president.
This is a world of thanks to President Jimmy Carter, humanitarian, justice seeker, farmer, father, grandfather.
Carter is being remembered for all of those roles, and once in D.C., most especially as the 39th U.S. president. The Capitol Rotunda will welcome the public starting this evening, and long lines to see Carter lie in state are expected.
I feel like this is an opportunity for change while he's resting right now.
Many more will have the opportunity for that reflection as the country spends the next few days honoring his legacy. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
If coming up with new ways to make chicken week after week is challenging for you, then we've got an idea that'll make you a kitchen hero.
And I know I've said it, and I'm going to say it one more time. We are tracking possible snow as we head into Thursday and Friday. A look at that full forecast right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. Well, it's cold outside. I'm sure you've noticed. And if for any reason, maybe you just haven't had a need to get outside, or maybe school or work has been closed for the last couple of days, you've had zero reason to step out and find out that it's cold. But that's all right, because we'll tell you it's cold, and we'll tell you how cold it is. It's in the 20s right now, and it's going to be about the same tomorrow. Live look, though, downtown Pittsburgh looks great. So if you are inside, you can look out your window, you can be all wrapped up in a nice, cozy, warm blanket on the couch watching the KOAM News at noon, and then maybe the Bold and the Beautiful right after, and enjoy what looks like a great day from the comfort of your home, because it is very cold outside. I don't think we can say it any other way. It's cold. That's how it is. Here we are at 2 o'clock. It's still cold, but the sun's still shining. We'll have that north breeze, still light, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Later this evening into the overnight, those winds shift slightly out of the northwest. Could have a passing cloud or two. And as we saw yesterday, and if you were awake as early as Elise and I are in the mornings, you may have seen a few flurries. That's just because there's enough moisture in the clouds, it's dropping some flurries, but nothing significant. So if we get a couple of clouds, you could get a couple of flurries. No big deal to worry about. Other than the fact it's just a reminder as to how cold it is outside. Now, tomorrow is a copy and paste day of today. The only difference is instead of a north breeze, we're going to have a northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. The changes start coming as we go Wednesday night into Thursday. So by Wednesday evening, winds begin to shift a bit, and by Wednesday night, they're now out of the south. Now, of course, it's still the winter time, and it's still January, so the south breeze is still cold start for Thursday morning. We're going to be a little warmer. Clouds thicken up out there, and then here comes what could be some snow. And I say this because there are some variables in play here. The biggest one is the low pressure system that's going to be responsible for this. So down south of us, in fact, all the way up to about Fayetteville, there are winter storm watches, but this is the line in which they cut off. They don't reach this far north yet because the low pressure system that's going to bring this precipitation, if it drifts a little further north, okay, we're going to get a little more meaningful snowfall as we head into Thursday and Friday. If it sags a little further south, we may get a dusting, we may get nothing at all up here. But this is what the future track's looking like as we head in the afternoon. Not a ton of snow by any means, but still showing some snow heading through Thursday afternoon and into the evening hours and eventually overnight and into Friday. By Friday, it becomes a little more scattered, but some snow showers will still be possible, and we start getting that wind out of the north. But take note of these temperatures. And if you noticed on Thursday, most of our temperatures at or even just a bit above freezing. So it'll be cold enough for snow, but it could be a fairly wet snow. So this is one computer model's thinking on the snow. This one has changed, actually. It even had up to 4 inches as far north as I-44, so you can see it's getting some new data. This one still is putting that low a little further to the north, so it's putting upwards of 1 to 3 inches of snow across a good portion of the region. The other computer model is still under the impression that that low is going to track further south, and therefore we are going to get at most maybe a ½ inch or so of snow as we head into Thursday and Friday. So we still got to keep a close eye on it, and we'll of course keep you updated. Again, for the rest of today, upper 20s, north breeze 5 to 10, sunny skies, clear skies tonight, northwest winds, and we're going to be right back down to about 10 degrees, give or take a couple of degrees either side of that. As we head into tomorrow, again, some upper 20s out there, northwest winds 5 to 10, and then we'll keep an eye on whatever is going to happen. The highs on Thursday should happen in the first half of the day, getting into the mid to upper 30s, and then temperatures thankfully don't plummet, but they'll fall slowly as we head through the afternoon. We're not bad Saturday, just a bit on the chilly side, maybe a few evening flurries next Sunday. Otherwise, we are staying cold heading into next week as we're staying below normal for our highs and lows for a while.
All righty. Thanks, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making cheesy baked chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard's making cheesy baked chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
I think it's common for many of us to get stumped when it comes to finding new ways to cook chicken. So to change things up a bit, we're making a super easy and cheddar cheesy chicken that I think you're going to love. In fact, it's so good, I'm betting it'll become one of your new weeknight favorites. What do you say we get started? We begin by making a cracker crumb coating by combining crushed cheese crackers with sesame seeds, fresh chopped parsley, and a little salt and pepper. The cheese crackers are our secret ingredient, which gives this dish its big cheddar taste. Now, after trimming some chicken breasts, we dip them in melted butter and then into the cheesy crumb mixture. These go onto a baking sheet and into the oven until the chicken is cooked through and the coating is nice and crisp. This may sound basic, but the taste is out of this world. And don't plan on having any leftovers, because when you serve this crunchy, cheesy chicken as is, or with some honey mustard dressing for dipping, they're gonna gobble them up. To get the recipe for our cheesy baked chicken, simply visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a secret cheesy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
We can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just head on over to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so again, cold today, a copy of today going into tomorrow. Keeping an eye on those snow chances Thursday into Friday. And again, it all depends on the placement of that low. But we may get up to a dusting, and if it shifts a little further north, maybe a little more than that. But otherwise, we're staying below normal for the next several days. So make sure you are bundled up,
Yes.
whatever it is you're doing.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Chris. And Del, what do you have for us later on?
Lots coming up at 5. For starters, new travel rules for Americans wanting to travel overseas. Starting tomorrow, Americans will have to fill out extra paperwork and shell out more cash before they travel across the pond. Plus, a new sheriff in Cherokee County. We're going to visit with Brian Henderson, who won his election back in November, about his transition process before he officially takes over next week. And tax time is right around the corner, and those who reside and or work in Kansas should be aware of a new IRS filing program. We're going to take a look at that. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Del. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.